What is good, people? Satsuki the Savage here, and today I'm going to be talking about At Age up to chapter 80. So please do not spoil anything beyond this chapter. I will be fully caught up, I believe, by the end of this week. So again, no spoilers in the comment section when it comes to anything beyond chapter 80. All right. Now, I don't have a script for this or anything, so we're going to be off the cuff. We're just going to be going to random places, whatever comes to my mind. And I'll be giving criticisms early on because I want to get that out of the way and then talk about the stuff I actually like. And I'll be talking about what's going on in this current arc. And I don't know what to call this arc. I guess you can call it the Princess Iron Fan arc, but I don't know what this is called. So that's what I'm calling it. And I'll talk about the Galactic Railroad and some of the characters there. And I'll also talk about Death Island. So let's go with the criticisms first, all right? Because there are a couple of things I don't like about At Age or things I just wish were changed. And I'll go with the first thing, which is Yonagi constantly being praised, or her potential is always explained to us that she has great potential and she's just this actress that we haven't seen before. Like, she's a talent who is extraordinary. That whole dialogue that people constantly have is very redundant, again, because it's repeated to us over and over and over. It gets to a point where I understand that Yonagi is great. I can see it on panel. You don't have to tell us every single time. And I get that people for the first time are seeing her and they're thinking this, so we got to see their thoughts. But sometimes it's coming from characters who have already seen Yonagi act and they're still just starstruck. And it gets redundant. I understand that Yonagi is great, but I don't need to see characters say that every single time. It gets redundant again. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to talk about is the other characters who are not named Yonagi and Chiyoko. When it comes to what they had to approve upon as actors or actresses, we don't really get to see them improve. All right. Now, there was one exception with Akira, but other than that, that's about it. And what I mean by this is we see Chiyoko, for example, in this current arc, she copied Yonagi's method acting, which I'll talk more about if I remember. But she copied her style of acting so that she could play the role that she's playing as Rasesunyo. Yeah. So we see what she went through, and she even had to harbor this fake hatred towards Yonagi. She had to hone in on her jealousy and her anger to play this role. So see, we saw the progression with her. And then when it came to Yonagi, we seen her go in the mountains, talk to Hanako, and her having to play the role of a god and actually believe that she's the god controlling the elements. There was one shot where we seen her holding her hand out like she actually knew Nin. And I said this in my Twitter thread, so I'm plugging in my Twitter, King Daniels JR. Follow me on Twitter. You know, thing will be here on the screen. But yeah, we see what they had to go through to play their role, but nobody else. Like, for example, we have with Chiyoko, the person who was supposed to act with her is Araya. Yet we don't really see him having to adjust anything to play his role. We don't focus on him at all, which I think is very criminal because Araya is actually an important character. And this is a play in which he doesn't have Iwao Yujiro presiding over the work. This is the first time he's doing a work without the dude that he thought of as, like, I guess you could say, like a father figure. That's how important he was to him. This is the first time he's doing a play without him, yet we don't see him struggling to play his role. And maybe we will see it when they actually get the play going. But for now, I'm complaining about the training and how we're getting these characters to play their role. We haven't seen him struggle. And then on Yonagi's side, she has Ogami playing Sun Wukong, and I didn't expect to see him struggle because he's a seasoned actor, but considering what they told us about him and his personality and how he can have mood swings, he should at the very least have chemistry issues with Yonagi, which that's not the case. He did have issues in the beginning, but it wasn't really chemistry. It was just him acting out, being kind of childish, saying that he was going to go to Hollywood if Yonagi didn't show up at this time and blah, blah, blah. That was more so, or the issue with what was going on there was Yonagi had to change and she had to get better because Ogami was mad that Kuriyama wasn't the director. So Yonagi had to compensate for Kuriyama. So that was something she had to work on, not Ogami. Ogami did not have to change anything, and that's my complaint. Ogami didn't have to change anything. We haven't seen Araya work towards anything. Again, the only side character I remember who we saw actually or actively change something and we focused on him was Akira. Other than that, you go back to Death Island, you see some of the characters like Masaki. We didn't see him having to go through some progression. Akane, we didn't see her having to go through some progression. So that's my complaint. I wish the side characters were more focused on, because when it comes to the important characters, Kuriyama, Chiyoko, Yonagi, we get a lot of focus on them, and for the most part, they are really good characters. And I like the characters. I just want to see them get into their roles, and they have to go over these hurdles and they had to maneuver through these obstacles. But again, that's not really happening. And my last criticism is with Arisa, which is Akira's mother, the woman who is, I don't know if she's the CEO, but she is the person, I guess, in charge of STARS, the agency. I hate her. I don't like her in the story. And it's not one of those things where I just don't like her personality. And I think I get what the writers are trying to do, what the mangaka is trying to do with her character. Because I feel like she's supposed to be this misunderstood fallen star, all right? Because she was great when she was acting, but she went through something, probably method acting, which completely broke her psyche and she couldn't act anymore. So I think she's supposed to be sympathetic to some degree, but that's not really portrayed with her character. From what I get from her character, all she gives is jaded commentary. She went into the Galactic Railroad play just a bitch. That's what she was doing. She went there complaining about her son. She was like, oh my God, my son is not an actor. Like, what is he doing up here on stage? He doesn't belong here. Oh my God. They don't have Yujiro just died. They can't possibly go through with this play without messing everything up. Like, the whole time she was just complaining. I don't think that's a good way to portray that character as this fallen star who's trying to look out for people. Because I do think she is trying to look out for people. Like when she rejected Yonagi because she didn't like the style of acting she was using, because she thought that it was going to break her psyche like it did her in the past. So I get stuff like that, but she does not seem like a guardian who is just, again, misunderstood. She just seems she seems like someone who's just bitter. That's it. That's all I really get from her. And I don't like that they're doing that with Arisa, because I do think she has the potential to be a great character if some things were tweaked a little bit and some of her dialogue was changed. But for now, I don't like the bitch, so get her out of my manga. That's really it. But that is it for my criticisms. Now, before I forget, I want to get on Chiyoko and her method acting, because I think that's going to be a very, very important thing in this art, because she is switching styles, which is not easy to do, but Chiyoko is very talented. She's very studious. She always looks at tape, and she knows what she's doing, or she has the talent to change her styles like she's doing. But this is a completely different realm. This is something that people warned Yonagi about. So if they warn Yonagi about it, Chiyoko surely is going to suffer some consequences from doing this style of acting. And what I think is going to end up happening is something very, very controversial or catastrophic. Not like death or anything like that, but I think something big is going to happen with Chiyoko doing this style of acting, because to do this acting, what she's doing, unlike Yonagi, is she's manufacturing her experiences. Like with Yonagi, she thinks about what happens in her past and she tries to reenact that, and she'll kind of tweak things that they're not exactly the experience she needs for a role. But what Chiyoko is doing is she's creating those experiences. Like when she had to like feel like nauseated for one of the scenes in the script, what she did beforehand was, I think she just like swallowed an egg whole. So again, she is creating these experiences. And we seen like what she's doing with Yonagi, like she's honing in on her jealousy, her anger for being dwarfed by Yonagi's performances. So I think depending on what the role of Rasesunyo, I think I'm saying the name right. Depending on what the role of Rasesunyo entails, she's going to be in for some trouble. Like, let's say this role, in this role, she has to play someone who is like, I don't know, because they say like Rasesunyo, her husband is cheating, something happened to her son. So like, what if she, like, the role wants her to cheat or something, and then Chiyoko pulls something where she's cheating on whatever boyfriend she might have, whatever. It's just like, you see where I'm going with it. She would have to create these experiences depending on whatever that role entails, and that's going to be very dangerous because, again, unlike Yonagi, she's not drawing from what's happening in the past. She's actually just going out and doing what is demanded of this role, and then later playing the role. So yeah, that's going to be an issue, I believe. Now, I want to go back to a previous arc, which is the Galactic Railroad arc, because a lot of people talked about this arc and regarded it as the best arc in Act Age, and apparently it's like a classic. That's just from the few people I've heard from when it comes to Act Age. And I gotta say, when comparing Galactic Railroad to Death Island, I don't see Galactic Railroad as better than Death Island. I actually believe, I still haven't really thought it out, but I think I like Death Island better than Galactic Railroad. I don't think Galactic Railroad, even if I just think about it and I do end up saying Galactic Railroad is better, I don't think it's that much better. I think they're pretty even when it comes to the quality of the arcs. And I get why people would really like Galactic Railroad, because there was a lot of drama. The characters introduced were pretty cool. Like Nanao, she was cool. The dude was actually really, really cool. His name was Kametaro. He was really funny. I really liked him. And then you seen Akira have a role. He had like 2 chapters dedicated to him, so that was pretty cool to see. You had Awao Yujiro, who was the director, and he was a really, really great character, and he went through what he went through, and he ended up dying. So like, that was the first time we had like something really tragic happen in an arc like that. So I get why people would really like this arc, but for me, what I liked about Death Island was simply the dynamic between Yonagi and Chiyoko. And although I like Araya, I don't think Araya, the combination of Araya and Yonagi, is the same as Yonagi and Chiyoko, because Yonagi and Chiyoko just pair well because they're both rivals. They both have these different styles of acting. Like, one of my favorite things from Death Island is when Yonagi cries on cue and then Chiyoko immediately matches her. Like, it was just really cool to see. So I like to see their rivalry. I don't think that combo can be matched by anybody. As much as like I like Araya, I don't think that combination can be met with any competition, really. So That was one of the things I really liked in that art, and I really liked the director in Death Island, Tezuka, I believe that's his name. He was really cool. Like the way he was so shady, he just wears these shades everywhere, no matter where he's at. He got the shades on at night, day, like it don't matter. He got the shades on. He chilling. He cooling. He just sitting back, just doing some scummy shit. He like, bro. They like, bro, it's storming. We can't do this anymore. He like, what if we do it during a storm? Like I know these niggas could die, but what would happen if we did that? Like he was like a scumbag, but I liked him because he wanted to make a movie. Like he wanted to make that shit a hit, and for the sake of making it a hit, he did some questionable things. Like I said, having his actors playing the storm, having Yonagi, who was an original character in the movie script, play a pivotal role. He just because he had the whatever book he was adapting, he created Yonagi as an original character, and he had her play a big role in the movie. So he was doing things just off the cuff. Like he was basically like, "Fuck it, like I'm gonna make this movie how I want it, and that's how it's gonna be." So I really liked the director in Death Island. The other side characters were cool as well, but yeah, I don't really see as one art as being that much better than the other. So I guess that's really it for that. I also want to say, because this is going to be something I'm probably going to forget later, Hanako, who is the director for Yonagi's team, talked about Yonagi's father. So I do believe that Yonagi's father will show up definitely in this art because he has never been really referenced before until this art happened. Hanako keeps mentioning him. Now Yonagi is thinking about him to play her role. And right now, where I'm at right now, I haven't seen the aftermath of Yonagi taking in those feelings of anger at her father and playing the role of Rase Sunyo. So I don't know how much this is going to affect her, but the fact that she wanted to forget her father entirely means that these feelings are very, very strong. So if something happened to where her father did show up, then that's going to be another plot line that's going to bring in a lot of drama. And I think it would be a missed opportunity if Yonagi's father didn't show up in his art in some capacity or something. And apparently he's a big shot too, which I didn't expect, but I should have expected considering that Yonagi has a collection of movies just everywhere. So yeah, Yonagi's father is somebody important. Who he is yet, we don't know. He's still silhouetted. He's still shrouded in mystery. So we don't know who he is, or I don't know who he is because I'm at chapter 80. But yeah, I believe he's going to be in this arc, and that's going to cause a lot of problems with Yonagi. I just want to know, is there something deeper than him just simply leaving that makes Yonagi feel the way that she does? Because obviously after her mother died, her father wasn't there. So yeah, I can understand her anger at that. So yeah, some things I like about At Age. Obviously, I love Chiyoko, and I especially love Yonagi. Yonagi is just great. I love how weird and strange she is. And she always comes off as weird to other people. When other people meet Yonagi, they're like, bro, what's wrong with this chick? Like, is she good? Like some of the things that she does, the subtle quirks that she has, like never giving people personal space. Like she's always real close to someone when she meets someone. She'll ask questions when she already does the action. Like she'll be like, "Can I sit next to you?" And she'll already be sitting next to you. So I like stuff like that because it's a reoccurring thing with her, and I like Yonagi from early on. Once she ran into the set when she was doing the audition, was it for Death Island? Yeah, it was for Death Island. When she was doing the audition for Death Island and she ran onto the set, I was like, yo, Yonagi is crazy. But that's how deeply engulfed she is in her role. So I love Yonagi. Chiyoko is a very respectable rival. So I like her as well. I like characters like Araya, uh, Kuroyama. I like him as well, and I like the fact that he's trying his hardest to make Chiyoko win instead of Yonagi. Even though he's riding with Yonagi, he wants Yonagi to star in a movie of his directing. He is still trying his best to represent for his team. All right, so I like that, and he's having conflict with it as well. And I like the other characters like Yuki. I like the fact that she's like basically become a godmother for Yonagi's brothers and sister, or brother and sister. It's just a cool little thing. She takes care of them when Yonagi is acting and she can't do it. So I like that. But I like some other things like when they show the visuals when they're acting. And what I mean by this is if you remember back in chapter 1, I believe, when Yonagi is auditioning for stars and Arisa says something like, because basically they're doing this acting. I forgot the specific name of it, but they're doing a style of acting where they just have to act. They can't talk or anything like that. You're just acting without sound. And she says like reenact the scenario where you're confronted with a feral dog, and in the panels you actually see the dog when, of course, it's imaginary. It's not real. I like that we get visuals like that because it gets us in the mind of how great the actors are doing, or we could just envision how it would be if the actors were playing this role that they're being directed to act. So I like the visuals like that, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. The comedy is real good as well in the show or in this series. But guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I got to say about Act Age. I'm really enjoying it. I want to read more. I'm probably going to finish it in 2 days after I upload this video. Guys, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Satsuki the Savage, out. Am I dying to live? Or am I living